All right, and we are live but not live on the YouTube. Hello, anyone who's watching this postseason. My name is Seb, as you already know, and this is the roundtable. We have a number of jurors that have unfortunately not made it to the end of Distortion Survivor Pure Imagination, but they are here to discuss the final two as determined last night as Aaliyah and Justin, as well as bringing in icon, legend, and hopefully future Distortion player Zoe. Same as I said prior to the stream, Zoe is going to take it away. Please be nice to Zoe, or Zoe will tell you to shut up. That being said, I'm off for the night. Have fun, Zoe.
Wow, thanks so much for having me. So happy to be here. So happy to be talking to you all tonight about this game. So, just to start off, I would love to hear from a couple people just what you feel the tone of the game was. In general, you can use a couple words, you can do a sentence. Somebody take it away.
Do I say it? I'm gonna say I don't give a fuck. One person rode people's coattails and did not make moves, and the other person low-key beasted throughout.
Heard. Are you being intentionally vague, or is it?
I mean, no shade. Justin rode mine and Sean's coattails for our tribe, and then when we got swabbed, shit happened, and then when we merged, was still riding mine and Sean's coattails, then rode a six-person alliance coattails.
Um, I'd love to hear if somebody else agrees with this analysis.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yeah?
Kind
Okay.
of.
I mean, Justin was swapped for a fair few rounds where he wasn't either worked on. And, just because my experience, I never felt like, it always felt like Justin was in the middle. I never felt like, even if he was hotel writing, I don't think he was, but even if he was hotel writing, I don't think that, it was firmly just that. I do think that he was the decisive vote in a lot of that situations. He chose what and what not to say, and all of it. I don't know. I don't really buy that he was writing social here. I don't feel like there were any social writers in the that's just me.
Okay. I'm gonna, because I feel like this is gonna be turning into a what did Justin do versus what did Aaliyah do conversation, which we will get to that. I am going to speak about my experience with Justin because I don't think Justin rode coattails because there's a difference between doing absolutely nothing and riding people's coattails and just doing what other people say. And then there's a difference between just like knowing what's going on in the game and not saying too much because we did have people who wanted to be the main character of the entire show. Like, let's be real. We had people who wanted to be very, out there and this, that, and the other. And knowing Justin for, I don't even know, like 16 days, 15 days in this game when I was on the merge with him, Justin is not like the loudest person in the room. So for me, I feel like Justin was taking kind of the approach of let me have a shield in front of me and Sean, which, yes, and let me have someone behind me like a Marcelo or like a Sabrina, kind of like someone who I know that I can get to the end with, or potentially get to the end with, because I guarantee you, if Justin won final immunity, Sabrina would be sitting in the final two. I don't think Aaliyah was not. I don't think Aaliyah was sitting in the final two if Justin won. So for me, I don't think Justin rode coattails because yes, Justin was a part of the Iconic Six alliance that was created, but like he was a pivotal member of that alliance. He wasn't just someone that we would say, "Hey, Justin, vote Mira this round," or "Hey, Justin, like vote Juan this round." Like it wasn't that. It was like me and Justin had many conversations where Justin knew that people saw him as like not the most like talkative person. And even in like final five, final six, Justin was on call with me being like, Marcelo, I know that Sean has been going around telling people that I don't have a voice in this game and that if I'm at the end, I won't have stuff to say. So like Justin was aware. Justin was aware of things going on. And so this narrative that Justin was writing coattails, I personally don't agree with. That's just my personal opinion because I feel like writing coattails is one thing of like, oh, I'm writing these coattails and I'm going to make sure that like these people are doing all the work. And like Justin did work just behind the scenes and we got to respect that. Like I'm just going off my end. People can say that he rode coattails and that's great. But for me, it's like, and I know he didn't talk to some people. Like Mira, I
I
know
was I was gonna say
yeah.
doing work requires you being the person talking, not Sean telling you what to say because you ignored someone for 4 days
Fuck.
and then realized that your ass was going to be on the line. And so you had Sean talk to me, but as you.
Agreed. But also we got to remember that Justin never got his name written down. So that is a
I mean,
positive.
most goats don't.
Okay,
That's
I'm gonna
fair.
step in. As someone who worked with Justin through the entirety of this game until he voted me out, um, I'm 50-50. You know, I'm at the point where like I'm content with how I'm feeling, and I think there's was bitterness in like the past few days, but now like those bitterness are gone. And what I've noticed in Justin's gameplay is what you said, Marcelo. He was more strategic where he placed himself with every single person in this game. He knew he had me, who was always in the front, and he knew he had someone in the back to always protect them. He also knew every single information in this game. Everyone was telling him everything. And yes, was I like basically hyping myself, my own game to him, telling him like if we make it to the end, he's not gonna say anything. Yes. And I think my that was my mistake because then that opened him up even more on who's actually running the game, who's actually like can potentially win the game. So that's my team.
So there's obviously been a lot of talk about Justin so far. I feel like I understand Justin's game a little bit. I don't understand Aaliyah's game. Why don't we? Can we go into that?
Sure. I mean, Aaliyah beats the Visa Immunity Challenge, like without a shadow of a doubt. I think she won the most. She won 4 solo immunities.
Technically 5 with the veto.
Oh, yeah, technically 5. And then let's not forget to count how Aaliyah never went to tribal before merge. So if we count all those vote outs, that's almost a 10. If my math serves me right.
If I had to describe Aaliyah's game in one word, it would be adaptable. Because that girl adapted, especially after Mira left in this game. She, I think she did something better that Justin did with hiding behind people because she knew she was in the forefront after getting cake out and that whole plan. She knew she was in the front. But yeah, she adapted herself really well.
Yeah, I'd like I feel like obviously this doesn't encompass everything, but if I had to give it like offense versus like defense sort of thing, like it would be like more like Aaliyah like on the like offense side and Justin more on the defense side. I mean, I don't know, like there's definitely like mixes of both, I guess, but I mean, kind of echoing like similar things. Like I see a lot more of Aaliyah's things as like very action driven. And I see Justin's more as kind of like got like behind the scenes, and so I kind of see like both sides too of like I get why some people are saying like the riding coattails and stuff, and like I would say like I was also maybe like guilty of doing that sometimes, but I also feel like he did have a lot of very like strategic moments, and I think just because sometimes like when I don't know, like when the way that people like thought or were expecting, like he still thought about like, is this the best move for me? At least that's kind of how I think of it. But I think both, I mean, we have a very strong final 2. I mean, I think this jury also is like really strong. So.
I mean, I'll give Aaliyah credit. Aaliyah definitely did not go to a tribal a single damn time during the during the pre-merge. And then the only time Aaliyah's name was written down was by Sean at the final five. So that is impressive. We have someone who's never had their name written down. We have someone whose name was written down once. So there is that. I will say a big factor of Aaliyah was very social. Aaliyah talked a lot. Um, some of the conversations that I had with Aaliyah, my only question for Aaliyah is like, how genuine really were those conversations? Because I feel like a lot of those conversations rode the line of game and not caring versus personal and caring. So like I need to sit with that because I mean, Aaliyah and I had a conversation before last night's vote, and I was convinced the vote was going to be 3-1. And I still don't know who voted me. It really could have been Justin who flipped on me. It could have been Aaliyah. I'm fighting that battle right now of like, that's literally like my first question when I'm in front of them. I'm like, who voted me? Like, that's all I really care about. Because I'm like, you both sat there and just lied to me. Or one of you told me the truth. But yeah, I just feel like a lot of the conversations I had with Aaliyah, but also like other things that happened, like Aaliyah made an alliance with Sean, Justin, and I during the cake section, and Coach was the one who came to me and was like, I feel like Aaliyah did that just to make sure none that plan wasn't leaked to like me or Justin, which like I get, but like then we didn't use that chat for like 700 days. And then once the final eight came and it was time to like make a move, like for me, it's just like what conversation felt was genuine and what conversation was not genuine. And I get it. You don't have to have genuine conversations with people all the time. Like this is a survivor game on Discord. You can just have your moment. But for me, I'm like, I'd respect it more if you just came with like not faking it. That's how I feel.
I mean, I'll say this as I guess Aaliyah's closest ally in the game, even to the end, because apparently she didn't vote me out, and I called out her lying about her power because I thought she did. That's my bad. I was convinced she had turned on me because we had discussed that maybe we would fake a fight and tell people to vote each other, and whoever got more traction, we'd play the idol on the person that night, and then we'd burn the idol and save the other person. Uh, so I thought she just did that and didn't tell me. I was wrong. Shout out Coach and Sean for that one. um, no, I will say no conversation I had with Aaliyah ever felt anything less than genuine. And I understand that maybe her and I had more conversations than everyone else had with her. I mean, her and I were like calling on like car rides home, Morgan driving, her in the passenger seat, like, and we talked about. Did we talk about game? Absolutely, we talked a lot about game. We talked about so much more though. Um, in the same way that like Sean and I's conversations felt really genuine because you got to watch me struggle to learn how to use a dab pen for like an hour on camera. It was not charged. Fun fact. It came uncharged. Um, but I will say every interaction I had with Aaliyah felt really genuine. I think that's why I had the reaction I did when I went out, because I thought that after feeling that genuine connection with her as a person, she had stabbed me in the back. But yeah, totally can understand how it comes off as fake though, because it is a Discord game. So
Can I see a show of hands
Oh.
and like who felt that Aaliyah was fake or to them in general? We got some. So does it matter if would you rather a person be social and fake or like completely unsocial and real? Because that feels like the division between the final two right now. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, I wouldn't say unsocial and real because again, Justin didn't actually have conversations with me. Sean had conversations with me as Justin. So to me, that is both not social and fake because it quite literally is fake.
Sean, do you agree with that analysis?
I
I've heard
mean,
that a couple times now.
I can see why, like, Mira could see it as fake because like Justin, Justin and I were on a call and Justin was like, what should I say to Mira? And I would tell him like this is what you should say. And like, I also tell him like make it in your own words so it doesn't seem like you're just trying to have a game combo and like, not be fake, but I'm not gonna he can play his own game, but yeah.
Does anybody else feel like that happened where Sean was speaking through Justin?
I had the complete opposite. Justin spoke for himself to me specifically.
Yeah.
But that's also like going into the merge, I feel like there was a huge emphasis on tribe lines. Like OG Blueberry will stick together, OG Lemon Lime will stick together, OG Strawberry will try to stick together. But like there was two alliances that everyone knew about. But it's like
Except me and Marcelo.
I know, that was so funny. But like so I feel like what Justin lacked in social ability, Aaliyah definitely was the prominent one. And I do feel like what Aaliyah kind of lacked, because I'm not one to like, listen, if you win comps, like incredible slay, like you won comps, like you saved yourself, but you have to back comp wins with social ability. And like comp wins can get you so far and get you to the end. But for me, I'm like, I needed more. So I definitely want to know what Aaliyah's like main game was because I feel like I knew, but uh to go off your question, like I just feel like because everyone knew that the narrative was that Aaliyah, Mira, and Juan were close, then it was like Coach, Sabrina, and Sam were close, and then Sean, Cake, and Justin were close, and then like me with like I don't know, I was with whoever I was fucking with. But like I
Sam, Sabrina, and Coach had a trio. I was not aware of this. I thought Sam was out on his own floating in the ocean. And that's why we tried to pull him in. Shout out Sam.
We so on going off of that, me, Sabrina, and Justin also have it, and I would say that was the more active of the two three-person chat. Wrong, and Justin was very active and like the reason Justin, I mean, Sean could maybe speak to this more, maybe, but the reason Justin knew about the vote to get out the case, even though we were told not to tell Justin or Marcelo, is because we went in there and said, hey, this is what's going on right now. And I'm assuming Sean probably did the same thing. So, like, he always knew, even in situations where Marcelo was the only person, no one went and told Marcelo, Marcelo, this is not a knock on you. You know. Julia says it's a knock on you. It's not a knock on you. Shout out. But I think that's more of a testament to, okay, everyone knows this is happening and yet keeping their mouth shut. I kept my mouth shut with Sean about it, even though we both knew what was going on. Yet I still told Justin about it. Sabrina still told Justin about it. I think
I was under the impression Justin was told because both myself and
Aaliyah told Justin.
told Justin the
Justin knew
Big
the
vote.
entire time.
Okay, well, I was
damn, why
I
did
was
none
told
of you
not to
tell
tell.
me?
I was told not
Because
to
we
tell
didn't
him.
think that you would be able to keep a secret, Marcelo.
So-
I'm so sorry.
So when Aaliyah came to me about the cake plan, I went immediately straight to Justin. I was like, Justin, this is what's happening. We're gonna get what we want. We're gonna get cake out. And then from there, I was like, you can do whatever you want with that information. You can tell people, but yeah.
Interesting.
Hello.
So what I'm hearing is that if we're dividing up the game into social, strategic, and physical, Aaliyah wins social and physical. Does Justin
Correct.
strategic?
I would say so. I would say
Yeah.
there are points.
I think he talked, at least like with me, he would kind of talk through his like ideas in a way that was logical. Like you could tell that he was actively thinking about it and like trying to see if if this happens, then what might happen? Like, and what are these possible outcomes? And then if this outcome happens, what do I do from that? So it was definitely a very I'd say very methodical approach.
Yeah, like I sat on a call with Justin for like a good 4 hours trying to figure out like what's the tea after coach leaving. Like, do we take out or no, not after coach, after Sam leaving? Do we take out Sabrina first? Do we take out Aaliyah first, or do we talk to Tony? And then like he gave me all these like different scenarios he thought about. Like I was like, okay, period.
Oh, the night before, like when Aaliyah won immunity, Justin and I literally sat on call being like, how can we make it so neither of us go to rocks? And how do we make it so that we vote together? But I'm still rubbing my head. Sabrina, what did Justin speak to you about in the final four? Was the plan was he always voting me? Because he was always voting you. Like I just want to know that dynamic.
Yeah, that was my it like I thought that okay, looking like now, I disagree, but yesterday I thought I was closer with Justin than you were with Justin, if that makes sense.
And I thought vice versa.
Vice versa.
I was closer to Justin than you were closer to Justin.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for
so
me,
that
it was always kind of like he was like, "Yeah, I'm not voting you out."
yeah, he
So
said the same thing to me.
Yeah.
basically what I gathered is Justin is lacking social, but the fact that he's very likable earned him that trust from a lot of us to give him information.
I will say, because I didn't get to see much of his strategic game, I can't say which one I would give if Aaliyah's getting physical and social. I can't say which one I'd give strategic to because I would want to hear him explain to me what his strategy was. Because, I mean, coming from people who worked with him, obviously, like, you guys got to see it firsthand. As someone who literally did not, if he can explain it to me, then I'd be willing to give him that point. But he'd really have to explain it.
That's fair.
It's all to say that Aaliyah did not have a good strategic game.
I wouldn't say that she did not have a good strategic game. I think maybe she overplayed our hand a little bit, which led to some pitfalls for myself. But to be fair, that could have also been a strategy. It made it much more of a threat that I had an idol and that Juan had an idol. So that could have very well been strategy. We won't know until after the season when we all get to chat about it. Based on what it sounds like Justin did though with like Sean and Sabrina, where he was able to like methodically talk through like if we do this, this happens. If we do this, this happens. This will be the next line of events. We didn't really have those talks, so we just more that tribal, that elimination. How do we get through it? Which way do the votes go? Kind of strategy.
I will say though too, like I didn't have those conversations with him until a little bit later on though. So I'd say like initially like my conversations with him were not necessarily like that. They were like a lot more surface level. So I think too like it like I don't know, like I don't think it's like that was his approach the entire time, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I also think Aaliyah, because my thing is like Aaliyah winning veto that live night, anything she had done, like her taking off Taco Tony, ultimately led to Juan's demise, basically, because that was the whole plan going into live night, was that the iconic six would stick together and get Aaliyah, Taco Tony, or Juan out. But like, so if I feel like if that's a move that she claimed of like one of my biggest moves was taking Taco Tony off the block, I'm like, potentially like that's not a like that's a move, but I just feel like that. But
Can I ask who was the iconic six, just so I'm
oh yeah, it was
clear?
3 trios. It was myself, Sean, and Justin, and then Sam, Sabrina, and Coach.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I knew what 6
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was.
It was created after Cake left. So
And you see what's crazy about that is you consider it two trios. In my head, I consider it me, Sabrina, Justin, Sam, and then you two. And the fact that you perceive it as Justin was in the three that went in, I feel like that's the fact that both groups thought that Justin was
yeah,
a part, like that was the glue. I think that's a big testament to his game.
I do too. I was just about you saying that sparked that because I was like, yeah, because Justin was. I mean, Justin was good with you two. Justin was good with Sam. Justin was good with Sean. Justin was good with me. Like Justin was good with. That's another thing. Justin found himself right place at the right time.
I think part of that too might have also been when we were on the new lemon lime, like his, I don't want to say willingness, but essentially it was like his willingness to get rid of Joanne a little bit, like was kind of like that. I feel like that, especially like for Coach and I, were kind of like, okay, well then, yeah, like he is someone that we can work with.
I will. Sorry. One more thing. I don't know why I'm apologizing to Zoe. Like Zoe knows I'm a yacht where I live. Um, but what I'm saying is that at Final 12, when we went to Rocks, Justin threw his vote on Mira. And the thing about that was that Justin, I mean, no one knew people knew some stuff, but no one really knew where the hell Live Night was going. And love Miss Kate Cunty Jane, but you were going around telling everyone that you're playing that idol. So it was like, let's make sure like we got a plan going. So like, I mean, Justin just threw his vote not knowing what would happen. And like, obviously it led to him getting to Rocks, but like, that's a testament of like, go big or go home. I don't know, high risk, high reward.
It sounds like we have two very different games here. And so is there anything that you are looking for? And we can start with Aaliyah, looking for about Aaliyah's game that you need to convince you to vote for her.
I'd want to hear more about like I know that there's like differing opinions with this, but like as someone that went to like a lot of tribals in the beginning versus like then someone that didn't, kind of like not saying that I want to kind of hear how the first half of the game went, like things that I didn't see, because I feel like that is like a very like I feel like it's a very different experience from like still having to go to tribal a lot versus not. So like I'd like to hear more about that aspect of her game.
It was real relaxing as someone who was there with her for every non-tribal we had to go through.
Totally.
It was great. It was real nice. It was real cool to just be like, oh man, that's so sad. Someone's going home. We don't have to vote.
Yeah.
I will say, I personally hate going into a merge, never having done a tribal. I feel like it puts a really big target on your back for tribals. Which leads back to the adaptability thing that one of you mentioned for Leah. I can't remember which one said it. Maybe Sean. But yeah, it was great to not have to go to tribal until merge.
Is that a detriment also to a game to have not voted before a certain point?
I think it can be. I think it depends on how it's perceived by the other like tribes that are at the merge. If they feel that the people who had never been, so like myself, Juan, and Aaliyah, if we were just going to be the super strong trio and like be like this because we literally had never had to vote out someone. I will say we had plans of who was going at what time for like we had contingency plans. We just didn't have to use them.
Mm-hmm. Anything else anybody wants to hear about Aaliyah's game? What about Justin's game? What do you need to hear about his game to want to vote for him?
I just need him to just own his game. I think that's for both of them, but I need Justin to like basically own that he played us all. Like because I feel like we all think that we played Justin, but there is a way that Justin could have played all of us. Like I mean, there's of course I'm in this mindset because I, played the whole into first part of the game with Aaliyah. Then I didn't meet either of them swap, and then Jury I played mostly with Justin. But it's like, what I want to know is how did they? Because they're kind of for me like two different games. But like I genuinely feel like they could both explain their game and explain how it created like their momentum to get here. So like yeah, I'm kind of just wanting Justin to just own it and make me believe that he's the winner of Distortion because I think either can win, but I just need confidence. If you apologize about your game, oh my God, that is one of my biggest pet peeves. Do not apologize about your game. If you blindsided me, you blindsided me. If you backstab me, you backstab me. But don't sit there being like, I'm so sorry, I will never do it again. Like, please, girl, you'll do it. Like,
Well,
Exactly, because unless you planned on going to the end with one of those people, you plan on voting them out too. So it, it doesn't matter.
yeah, I have to agree with Marcelo. I think he needs to really own his game because I feel like at the end of the day, the fact that he was able to downplay his game to the point that everyone, I'm not gonna speak for everyone, but like what I feel like everyone kind of, we all underestimated how he was actually playing the game to the point I feel like he kind of used that to his benefits. So I just want him to just give it his all at the end.
Can I talk next? Yes. Okay. So during the game, one of the first talks we had, Justin did. I feel like he did try to downplay some things, and then I told him how the type of player that I am, and immediately, he told me about his more than very good record in these games. He's been to the end a few times and he's won a couple times and all that. And I gave him the same spiel I give everyone. It's like, I don't care. It's a different game. It doesn't matter. What I should have done is what everyone else seems to do in orgs of, oh man, like this kid gets to the end a lot. Maybe this kid, he's the oldest person in the end. We should get rid of him before we let him do that again. And I didn't because it's like, oh, well, it doesn't matter because I'm good with him. Aaliyah, she talks about how she got rocked out in her last game and how she was doing well. And I'm like, I believe this because we had a social comp in this game that she won pretty handily. Like Aaliyah's name was really never out there during that challenge. And I think that's a testament to how she was playing because the very next round, she went to everyone. Well, everyone is a general statement, and said, "Hey, don't tell anyone else, but we're voting this way." And everyone, one, voted that way, and two, didn't tell anyone else. Relatively, so I think that both of them did very well in this game and were very outward with a lot of it. And I appreciate the fact that most of this cast, if not all of this cast, was able to play to their strengths this game. And I think it led to, I feel like one of my favorite games that I've ever played as far as how everyone performed. And I might be overstepping I hope I'm not overstepping by saying that, but I genuinely feel like everyone was out here killing it in this game and utilizing what works for them and not utilizing what didn't. I'm gonna shut up after this, I promise. The round that, I have to make it about myself for a second. The round that I went home, the reason that I knew I was going home at Tribal, the reason I was saying all that stuff is because one, Aaliyah didn't talk to me, which is like, okay, that's a telltale sign. And two, Justin said, hey, I'm gonna go talk to Sean right after me and him had just, and I'm like, okay, both of them are giving me signs that they're being shady. And the fact that, the fact that they were able to do that and still survive as many rounds as they have had, even though I'm sure they had tells that maybe some of y'all could have figured out or not figured out, is testament to how well they have played the game. So I'm really excited to pick a winner tomorrow. I'm absolutely undecided.
I will give I will give Aaliyah I will give Aaliyah a positive note on this when Taco Tony left, it was a 4-3 vote, and I immediately knew it was Aaliyah, like immediately, because my God, Sabrina and I had talked all day, being like, Taco Tony needs to go, Taco Tony needs to go. I was like, Taco Tony needs to go. And Aaliyah told me that she was voting Taco Tony, and then I received a third vote because she thought she was at the bottom of me, Sean, Justin, and Aaliyah, which, I mean, at that point, I don't know. I can't even say because I feel like, but my thing is like Aaliyah voted me. So like my whole goal for the next round was to vote Aaliyah, to like get Aaliyah out. But like Aaliyah using the social thing, again, using her social game, was very adamant about getting Sean out, was very adamant about getting Sean out. That like it convinced me, like there was a point where I was like, okay, fine, we'll vote out Sean. I was like, let's make Sean and Aaliyah battle each other at Final Four, but that didn't happen. But my thing is like both of them had their tells of when they were lying. Like, love Justin, but Justin would not look at the camera if he was telling you a lie.
Fuck
If he
it.
was telling you a lie, he would just like wander, and I'd be like, okay, like he didn't do that yesterday. That's why
Or
I'm
his
like,
face would turn red.
but like, yeah, his face would turn red. But like, and then Aaliyah, I feel like would just not be on camera. Like, I feel like it would just be off
Oh, she
camera. And
won't
I'd be
even
like,
talk at all. She would just be
yeah,
in the background.
but it's like for me, both of them, we can't say that both of them didn't play good games because I feel like both of them played to their strengths and played to what makes them good players. And I mean, this jury phase was we all played to win. Like every round was like a blind side after like it was a crazy, crazy jury. But what I like I said, I want them to own their game and I just want them to like tell us why they want to win because I feel like no one really does that. Everyone's like, I just want to win because like fun, but like we all played this game. Like we played this game till the very end. So may the best person win.
What big mistakes did you guys feel each of them made? What things that you're gonna want to ask them about and question them about their decision-making process?
I have something. Aaliyah telling me like I want the women to stick together. I want the trans identifying people to stick together, and then completely stab you in the back. And it's like you're saying you want to do X, Y, Z, but you're doing the complete opposite. It comes off very hypocritical and not very genuine. And I think that's where quite a few people thought that like it was fake and not genuine when we would have like these deep talks, and then you're just sitting here like, oh, we need to do this, and then boom, you get stabbed in the back with a steak knife.
Yeah, and to not to piggyback off of it too much, but just this is more directed at Aaliyah. I did feel like, and I wasn't the only one that said this, she would just kind of go ghost for long periods of time. I don't know if that continued, after I was gone, but she would just kind of, and what was annoying was because people compared notes in this game, we quickly realized she wasn't just going to nap or she wasn't just going to do this. Like we knew that she was talking to these folks, and not to say that that's good or bad, but it's just more of a we everyone learned in this game very early that people compared notes. Like I would say during the swap, people realized that everyone was comparing notes of stuff. And the fact that she didn't realize that, hey, we're all talking to each other. We all know this isn't the case. I feel like that would be a negative to her game. Justin, I don't think that he. I'm curious to see what he says tomorrow because I don't think that he perceives some of y'all or some of us as thinking that he was riding coattails. Because I mean, I didn't feel that way, but like the fact that some of y'all do feel that way, I feel like that's a knock on him that he couldn't catch on to the fact that these people think that I'm just along for the ride. So I'm curious to see how he combats that tomorrow.
Anything else on their mistakes?
For Aaliyah, I think Cake definitely clocked back because I feel like that was something that I just feel like there was just empty promises being made, empty promises that weren't Because Aaliyah all day was like, I want 2 strawberries at the end. They think that like 2 strawberries like would make the season what it is. And I'm like, okay, great. Like stand on it and let's do it. And then who even knows if that's true. But and then I feel like for Justin, I feel like a big mistake that Justin made was kind of I feel like a big mistake Justin made was that Justin didn't really go the extra mile with a bunch of things. Like I felt like it was a couple of things were superficial for Justin. Uh, but that's also a positive because a lot of people just trusted Justin or trusted Justin adjacently. Like people just like knew that Justin was gonna do the thing. But I just feel like Justin just didn't take control in my mind a lot of times, so that might be a mistake.
And on the topic of mistakes, what big mistakes could they make tomorrow night that would make you not want to vote for them?
Marcelo said it best earlier. Please don't go in there. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I did this. Unless, like, if you did something problematic, which from where I'm sitting, I don't know. They could have, and I just missed it. Unless you did something problematic or something that requires an actual apology, sure. At the end of the day, we all know what we signed up for. We all knew that there were going to be all of us losers plus one of them. We all, I would assume, didn't want to sit at the end with them. Some of y'all might have had, I know Mira for a fact had didn't have final twos with them. So, like, please don't apologize for voting us out. We don't care at this point. I hope not. I hope we don't care at this point. It's the night before final. Like, guys, let's relax. And if they go in there and I told everyone what my question is going to be tomorrow. If they go in there and they spout, oh, I played the greatest social game, this, that, and the other, and they can't answer simple questions about people in the game. Like, me and Mira didn't talk much. I can tell you more about Mira than Justin probably could tomorrow. And that's bad because I played with Mira for like 3 days.
But we had we had conversation. Sean made a good point in the general chat that if we asked them, like, do you know anything about this juror? What's Justin gonna say? Oh, she plays dodgeball. Yep,
Trivia.
said that on stream. Do trivia. Love trivia. On stream.
Yeah.
What do I do for work? On stream.
And then on Aaliyah's end, a lot of people said they feel like a lot of the conversations were fake with her. So if that's the case, ask. I don't know who I'm going to pick yet, but like I'm going to ask, hey, Aaliyah, these conversations you were having with these people, I could tell you everything that me and Aaliyah talked about real life wise, and I'm sure that all of y'all had those types of real conversations because some of y'all have already brought it up here. I want to see if she was actually listening to it or if it was just like, okay, yeah, whatever. Let's get to the vote. Let's see how we're going to get Sean out. So, like, it's both of them. If they're going to bring up social game, I want them to have actually played a good social game and for them not just use it as a buzzword that they know we want to hear. You know, I want them to actually prove that they did.
I also, on the line of don't apologize, like, of course, don't apologize. But if there's a lie that we know is a lie, and you continue to harp on this lie of like, oh, but like, I didn't do this at this point, and we're all like, we know you did it. Like, it's like,
Say it. What's the lie?
yeah, like,
Right, like say it with your chest.
yeah, say the lie. Like, say, like, if you want to, like, own it and be like, I lied, and like tell
Oh, bro, no, I meant you say it right now. What is
Oh.
the lie we're referring to?
I don't know. Like,
LMFAO.
I really was like, wait, I don't know no, I don't know
wanted to
what lie
know
they could.
Thing
but-
on Sam.
Oh,
That's
I thought
ooh,
that's what you were referring to.
I
Who played the
wasn't, but
thing on
now I
Sam?
am. I want to know who played the advantage to make
So
Sam.
none of us here play the advantage on Sam, correct?
No,
Oh, that's gonna be
it was
good.
one of them two.
Yeah, that's what
You
I'm
know what?
worried.
I will say this. In order for Justin to get my vote, I want him to own up to doing one thing in particular and explain his game. Because I feel like something very personal happened. And to me, it's almost as fake as Aaliyah saying, I want the trans individuals at the end and stabbing me in the back, because it was very personal and intimate conversations. Justin knew some things and like blindsided the fuck out of me, didn't even like say whatever. All he could say was, oh, but that's the way he can get my vote tomorrow. As of right now, Team Aaliyah.
Okay, can I ask you, was it what we talked about on the jury call the night that I showed up?
Oh, absolutely. I will say
Okay.
this for everyone. We openly flirted. Like, we openly flirted, this and the other, but it got to a point where I went to Sean saying, I'm starting to develop feelings. And was told, I'm developing feelings. That's why it was like, that's why I'm just like, what the fuck is genuine and what the fuck is fake? I think that's my biggest question. And I know my questions tomorrow are going to be shady as fuck, but at the end of the day, I want clarity. And if you could give me said clarity, I will reward you for your behavior besides snaking me the fuck out. So as of this point, both of them have snaked me, but who's going to be the biggest snake and own their shit and stand on business versus coward?
I agree to an extent because like he also like he's very charismatic. He's also the one thing I very caught on very fast since day one of this game is how much of a big flirt he is. Because like he was flirting with me and I was flirting back. I was entertaining the idea. Like, and there's multiple times in this game where I told him like, hey, I just want to let you know now, I am not catching feelings for you. I don't want you thinking I'm catching feelings for you because that's the tea. So, I mean,
I'll say the question I think I'm gonna ask both of them is the one that I put in earlier. Someone asked it during my season of Power Grab, and I liked it a lot more than I like the why do you think you have each juror's vote? It's why do you think you don't have each juror's vote? And have them say specifically why they think they don't have each of our votes. Because I think that shows a lot of self-reflection in their own game and like be like it also allows them to own up to things that they did or did not do game wise and strategy wise. If Justin can look at Sean and be like, I don't think I have your vote because I did X, Y, and Z. And if Aaliyah can look at Coach and be like, I don't think I have your vote because of like I did this, this, and this. Like I think that shows a lot about their own ability to reflect on their gameplay and allows them to kind of answer for things that they may have done. So yeah, that's my probably my question. And I mean, I have seen it where you ask that question and then they just can't give an actual answer. They're just like, oh, I voted Sean out. And that's why they say that Sean's not going to get their vote. That's not an answer. There's no self-reflection there. There's no looking into the game. What moves did you make that caused us to be in the position we're at now?
Are there things that they could answer to that question that would cause you actually to not want to vote for them, though?
No.
If it's too vague, if it's a very vague blanket statement.
If it's not an actual answer.
Sure.
Like if they're just saying, oh, I blindsided you. Like I want an in-depth, like not like an in-depth, but like clarity. That's my biggest thing if I'm a juror. Because yes, I do vote bitter. However, if you give me clarity, fuck the bitterness. I'll respect it. But if you don't give me clarity, I'm 100% voting bitter.
Who's gonna ask the question? Close your eyes, and if you have this,
That's what I put in my thing. I have 3 questions.
Please, no one do that.
And then the close your eyes.
God, no one do that.
I love that question. It's so dumb.
Hold on, what did Nick say?
What are you talking about?
You asked the,
everyone shuts their eyes and you ask them, raise your hand if you think this person's gonna vote for you. And it's like,
and they always raise their hand for everyone, and you're like, okay, you're not winning. You.
That's why that's the mistake I made. The only time I made FTC, I raised my hand every time because I was like, I want to be confident in my game. But no, it's like a red herring. They want to see like if you're being cocky or if you're being humble and honest. And that's why I wanted to add it because it's a shady question.
Is there even a way to answer that question without it coming off poorly? Because you're either going to come off as cocky and raise your hand for too many people, or you're going to come off as self-depreciating and that you think your game was shit and you don't deserve to win anyways because you don't
Last
think
season
you
we were
deserve to
shit
win.
on for not raising our hands.
Why you act coy when you raise this go, I'll do this because I don't know. That's what I did.
Like if I could see if like there's some hesitation with it, like then I know there's some form of validity, but you could tell like with that question, someone's being genuine or someone's just being fake. Also, hi Sam.
The one thing I want to caught though, and I don't know how y'all feel about jury management. I don't know if we were going to talk about that at all in this call, but I feel like they both like did terrible with that because every time
Oh,
we
absolutely.
went to a tribal, I got on a call with like for me like when I go to tribal, I like to have like some type of call afterwards just to get a decompress and see what we can do moving forward for the round. And with Justin, it was yeah, I'm not gonna tell this person. We're gonna move on. And when I like my round when I got out, it was like he was asking me questions like, "Oh, do you think, people in the jury are gonna look at us as like bitter? Like how are they gonna separate game and personal?" And like at that point, like I just wanted him because at that point I knew I was going home. I was like, "Can you just tell me?" Because you didn't want to tell Taco Tune that he was gonna get voted out. You didn't want to tell Sam he was gonna get voted out. You didn't want to tell, X, Y, and Z, everyone else. And Aaliyah, and I feel like for Aaliyah, I feel like she just didn't speak to the person that she knew that was going home.
I told Justin not to tell people.
I think
I
I
was
spoke with
like,
both of them
Oh, so it's your fault.
when I went
Marcelo,
out.
you're so messy for that.
I'd love to hear a little bit from Sam. Sam, welcome. What your thoughts and feelings are. I can't repeat every question, but tell us what you think about Justin and Aaliyah.
Yeah, I think they both played good games. Um, I think Aaliyah, I know she said so, but she felt like she was at the bottom at one point, and then she managed to survive. So I think that is, you know, a good story. Justin, I feel like he kind of just floated in the middle the whole time. So like, I think I want to hear his perspective about his game, really, because he did play a good game, but I just want to see what his goals were and how he accomplished them from his point of view.
So I just want to open up the floor if anybody has anything additional that they'd like to talk about in the game. Feel free to do so, especially regarding the final two.
How does this drinking game work?
Right, because I got my
Guys, don't worry, don't worry.
raspberry
I'll post,
lemonade
I'll post the
Smirnoff
rules
right
tomorrow.
on my
I
name.
do have something to say though.
Okay, real game. Yeah, that's a real.
Yeah,
Thank
real
you.
talk.
Thank you, Marcel.
Yes, I was like, I know Zoe did not just ask us what we're doing for final travel tomorrow. Anyway, I think for me, and I'm only speaking for myself, I think what I respect about everyone in this jury and what I respect about everyone in this game is that we've all understood that like if you were eliminated, you got. If you have been in the end, like you're at the end. I am speaking for myself here. I know that there are people who've said that like they might be bitter tomorrow, and that's on you. Live your best life. But for me, I feel like I can't be bitter because I do the same thing that those two would have done. If I got to the end, like I would feel like I'm in the jury roundtable if I was there. Like people would be like, "Oh, Marcelo did this, Marcelo did that." So I can't be like, because there were points where I was going to vote out Aaliyah. There were points where I was going to vote out Justin, but they were the ones to get me first. So for me, I think I am open-minded too. I don't have a set person that I'm going to vote for. I just need them to understand that like the game has not ended. The game has just begun for them. Like they need to own their game. They need to say what they need to say. They need to stand on their pedestal and let us know why they are the ones to be named the winner of Distortion. So for me, it's like I'm excited to see them because I talked to Justin. Justin had an FTC experience where all the jury were just shitting on him entirely. So like I know Justin's probably anxious about that. And like, but for me, I feel like I want both of them to know that like they played great games. One of them's gonna win, one of them's not gonna win, but it's like this is a good final too. So it's like the game's not over, it's just beginning.
So one of our last questions here, unless anybody else has anything to add. Who is undecided officially? That's a beautiful thing, and it says a lot about the games of the final two. Nobody is the SureCut winner here, and I hope that means that it was an exciting and fun season, and there was no surefire answer to anything at all. That's what makes the best games. So thank you all for joining us for this roundtable. It was lovely, informative. I'm so glad you're also well spoken and beautiful. Congratulations to Distortion on what is about to be another beautifully successful season. And thank you all so much for joining me.
I missed you, bestie. Oh my gosh. Collective All-Stars were running it.
I miss all of you, even the ones that I don't know. That's so true.
All right.
So
I
real.
thank you, Zoe, so much. I am so thankful you were able to take time out of your busy day to come host a little old Oregon Distortion. But you're free to go.